Kosher Wine Podcast with Dr. Kenny Friedman and Rabbi Bernath.
Hello, Kenny. This is so exciting. The band is back together.
Band is back together. What did they say in the Blues Brothers? I forget the line, but this is basically it, right? We're on the
Right.
road. We got I can't remember that line. Pack of cigarettes, full tank of gas, something like that.
I should know that I'm from Chicago, but I don't.
That's right. That's in Chicago. Now I was just noticing that the light reflects very poorly here, and I really need a makeup man for whoever's watching us on video.
This is middle-aged men
Look, you look like you've been in makeup for an hour.
issues. Middle-aged men. This is the issues.
That's right. That's right. Middle-aged men on wine. That was the original title before we changed to Kosher Wine Podcast.
We have so much to talk about.
We do.
So,
Today, first of all, how you been? You've been all right? We didn't do a precursor like schmooze, so I don't even know. Everything's good.
thank God. Well, and you?
Baruch Hashem. Everything's great. Everyone's doing great. My daughter got engaged.
Mazel
You
tov.
know that, but I'm making
I
more
did
of
know
it.
that.
I
Mazel
know
tov to the
I'm
world.
making an announcement. Thank you. Yeah, to the Gehila and what's it called? The gift link will be in the show notes. Not my daughter's gift link, mine. Yeah, it's great. Baruch Hashem, it's the best. I'm so excited, and he's a great guy, and we're so excited. This is my first of God willing four. So.
I'm excited to hear about the wine at the wedding.
Yeah, I haven't really. Why should I say I haven't thought about it? Of course, I've thought about it. My wife is like, we need invite lists and things like that. I'm like, I have things I'm working on. I can't talk. I can't worry about that. That's you. I'll handle the other more important things.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, there is the one unfortunate, caveat is that it has to be mevushal, but. Otherwise, I mean, but of course, we know, as we've spoken about many times, there's plenty of great mevushal choices. So,
And Mavushal wine, I think we've already come to the conclusion that it just speeds up and accelerates the aging process. It's
yeah,
not what people make it out to be.
right. No, right. I think more just because there are just fewer options. I mean, a lot of wines just aren't mevushal, and then you can't use them. A very good friend of mine, the famous Chef Chaim Davids in Israel, I can't remember what his place is called. I was going to give him a plug, but yeah, everyone, Chef Chaim Davids, famous guy. He calls it Prohibition Pickle. I don't remember where he is, but you can find him. He's a food genius. I look up to him in that way. When he got married, because he did a stint in Benio's winery, and I think around the same time as like the Weiss brothers, it was like a legendary time. And when he got married. Benio came to the wedding and he brought him a bottle of Four-Gate Chard, which they used under the chuppah. And like that's ideal, isn't it?
That is exactly what the four-gate shard was
Right.
created for.
Exactly. Exactly. Unfortunately, the I don't think the Stark K would let me get away with that, no matter what. So that
Put it in
is
a, put it in
bushel.
a, darn.
Yeah. I knew what you were going to say, but you would have had to edit that out.
I would.
Anyway, today, of course, speaking of the great Benio, today, of course, was Four Gates Day in America.
There are different days in America, but in the world of kosher wine, there is one that is greater than all the others, and that is the day of the Four Gates wine sale.
It's for those who don't know, on the Four Gates website, which is a very, very basic website. It just about at the end of the secular year, Benio will put up like that this year's date. It's almost always the first Sunday, if not the second Sunday. I think it's the first Sunday in January. Wait, this would be the second Sunday. Maybe
Second
it's the
Sunday, yeah.
second Sunday. Second Sunday in January at 1 p.m. Over the years, he's changed and kind of refined how he's done it because he's tried to make it more fair for people because everyone wants his wines. And they sell out this year. It sold out in 20 minutes, which we'll
21 minutes.
which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
He tries to make it more fair, so he he limits things and he doesn't really announce anything. He just says it's going to be at 1 o'clock. It opens on his like Shopify account, and there's all kinds of techniques people use, and of course some people try to game the system, whatever. But
Tell
it's
me, I don't game the system. Tell me how to
well,
game
I
the
mean,
system.
because there's obvious ways to, if you really want, you can have 10 people buying for you. You can have all kinds of things. I mean, they of course have to have their own addresses and whatever, so it's not necessarily gaming the system, but there are ways to get multiple orders. Meaning like this year and the last bunch of years, what he does with most of his wines, if not all of them today, I gotta look, I have a
All
screenshot
of
of it.
them. With all of
He
them, is he limits
limits.
them to
Um,
either 3 or 4 bottles per order.
Right. I'm looking because I took a screenshot. Right. That's right. They were all limited this year.
Yeah.
They may have been in recent years, but so this year I go on, and you don't know what the prices are going to be. And there's been a lot of talk in recent years about his prices going up. He was criminally undercharging for a long time,
Yeah.
and the assumption is, I think it's probably a good assumption, is that he's not going to be doing this for much longer, and I hope he does it forever. But the man deserves to get paid for what he does also. And the reality is that the point is he sold in 21 minutes, and a few of his prices were very high, and he sold it all out in 21 minutes. So then maybe it's not so high. Maybe you should sell it for more. It says if anyone complains about it, don't buy it. Just
Right.
don't buy it if it's too expensive for you. So some of the
Right.
prices. So, and you don't know the prices, right? You don't know. You go on 1 o'clock, boom, you link to the page, and then it's all there, and you're just like you're flying because there's always stories each year since he's been using this model of you fill your cart and then you're paying, and then there's an error because that shard may not be there
It
anymore.
happened to me
And you
today.
go back, and then the other
Yeah.
thing disappears, and you walk away with nothing.
Yeah, it happened to me today. As I was checking
Oh,
out, one of the bottles that I was trying to get was out of stock.
wait a second. How do you do it? You ship it to in America?
No, there's somebody who I can ship it to,
Oh, okay,
who will
fine.
bring it to
I didn't know
Canada.
that you.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you ordered.
yeah.
Um, so I went on and immediately, well, this year, I mean, to be totally honest, and to go back to talking about my wedding, I'm making a wedding, and I saw that like the cab is $260 a bottle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's out of my price range this year. That's out of my
Well,
price. If I'm ever going to buy a $260 bottle, it would be this one. I would buy this before I would buy any Bordeaux, any California wine, because these are special wines. I don't care what anyone says. These are, to me, this is top top.
so
What
I
were you
want
going to
to
say?
talk about this because I was really thinking about it after I did make a small order, whatever was left. I was talking to Binyamin afterwards, and he told me that I was the last order.
Really?
Yeah,
The
uh,
actual last order?
the actual last order. He told me.
But all that was left, I think, at the end was the
Yeah, I got
cap,
no,
maybe.
I got
Guidon,
the Guidon.
right? The
That was it.
Guidon is a blend of Cab Franc and Merlot, I think. Is that what it was?
I originally what I saw, and I was surprised this year that the cab was not an estate bottled. Uh,
Right,
and
right.
so that's why I decided for
So
the
I think
Guidon.
Pinot Noir was not a state Pinot Noir.
That may have been a mistake. I didn't ask him. I was going to ask him when I spoke to him earlier.
Mistaken what way?
That because the Pinot has always been it's on his property.
Right. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, you're saying he mistakenly didn't list it
Maybe
as
he just
estate?
didn't put the 2 dots there by mistake. But that's not like him. That
Or-
isn't like him.
I don't.
He's quite meticulous. So
Yeah,
I
I
would
wouldn't
say,
feel like he'd make that mistake, but yeah,
yeah.
it could be. Uh,
So I'd love to talk to you about why should we chase the rare bottle? And why are people losing their minds over a wine that's selling out in 21 minutes?
well, what do you think? I'm enjoying my tea. It's blustery and cold. It's weather. I'm not even a tea guy. It just feels tea weather. Well, why do you think?
I think that in the kosher world, I cannot think of another wine that compares to it, where you have a direct to consumer bottle that comes from an estate that is not mavushal, which means it has to be made by a frum Jew. Give me another example.
No, I mean his winery is truly unique. There's certainly in America. I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, he's easily the smallest estate winery, and the fact that he's Shomer Shabbos on top of it. And, I mean, it's even not only the smallest. I mean, he's a one-man operation. It's like,
Have you ever
but
davened in his shul? Have you
I've
ever had the
never been
opportunity?
there. I've never been there.
Sure.
You don't need to make me feel badly. I feel badly enough that I've never. We are gonna do it together. We're gonna do it together.
It's a special
I know.
experience.
I've never been to that shul, but I know there was a Baltimore guy named Guttenberg who was the rabbi of that shul. He not anymore, but he was there, and he used to. I think when he first started out there, he's like, I know a lot of people that know you out here. Like that's the wine shul, right? It's not
Yeah.
just Benyo. There's other, maybe the Weisses down there, and they've got, whatever. So, um, but yeah, I think that as we've spoken about with his wines, I think it may be the only actual kind of cult winery that's really the term cult winery exists in the non-kosher world a lot. I can't think of another winery that it could apply to in the kosher world besides Four Gates.
I
You know
mean,
what? And what that kind of indicates is that rarity. It's just very hard to get. It's very hard to get. And he could command, like I said, I think I said before, it was the cab, was it 260? Is that what I said? I'm not looking at it.
yeah.
But he could command more for that. And the fact is, he sold it out in 20 minutes. So, I mean, that shows that that price is not absurd, especially when you compare it to there are other California high-end wineries. Like Herzog itself makes the Yesod. That one of those is $300, but Tench and some of the other ones, Mayacamas,
Yeah.
why should they command? It's not like, you could say that sometimes you could ask that question of brand new wineries, even if it's a well-known winemaker or something like that. He's been doing this for a long time. He has an established track record of greatness, and he has the demand for it. It's a simple demand. I'm not a finance economics guy, but that's, business 101 is, supply demand. And he has massive demand, and he could charge a lot more, to be
Hey,
honest. And he could have been doing it for a lot longer.
yeah.
I think people probably got very spoiled buying his cabs for $30 years ago, which is hard to believe,
You miss
but
those days.
yeah. But I think it's a singular wine in that regard.
I looked at Mayakama's website, the kosher label, and I was wondering how much that went for. And you can buy it today for 215 bucks. That's the price of the Mayakama's cab.
Right. Which there's validity to that also because Mayakamas non-kosher is very expensive and that's a very, well-regarded winery. It's not, again, some guy who's just like saying this is expensive wine and that's what I'm gonna charge for it, or even that it would be based upon very expensive produce. I mean, obviously there is something that goes into the cost of a bottle of wine besides the winemaker or the distributor or whomever, or if there's 10 hands in the pot, which is a part of it, by the way, also.
Absolutely.
Because that's why when you get these like Smith Haute Lafitte to America, by the time it ggets there, there are multiple people that are taking a piece of that, right? So
Right.
that price doesn't need to be so high. These prices, in opposition to that, this is like it's direct to consumer from Benio, so you're getting the actual price.
Right.
But there's plenty of, I'm saying like, that's that idea that he oh, I was saying that, there are other factors obviously, and that's why a lot of times, Napa wines are expensive because it's expensive overhead there. And it's like that stuff does factor into wine. It's silly to think otherwise. It's not a straight reflection always on the wine itself or even, the level of the fruit or whatever. But for the most part, that's the case. But there's obviously also the politics of wine and all the other stuff, the economics of wine. It's not always that. But with his wines, I mean, you can make a case that he's still undercharging. It's not even a case. The man sold out in 21 minutes. Now, granted, no one knows exactly. I mean, I think he'll tell you, but I don't know. The only thing I heard today was that he only made one barrel of that Pinot. that sold out in 2 minutes. I mean, and it was also very fairly priced. It wasn't his, it was also not listed as estate, but it was like $60, which like to me, I went on looking, of course I'm buying the shards. And this is easily the most expensive they ever were. They were 60, I think. The
Yeah.
four gate shard was, and I think the Ayala was maybe 50. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me. I'm buying those every day of the week at that price. I mean, those are special wines and they're affordable for the most part. Um, I don't know how far I've come in my life that I'm saying $60 bottles of wine that you drink four glasses of are affordable, but all right, I guess I'm a rich guy. I'm not, for the record. Um, and then of course I'm looking for any red that I can that is reasonable for me, not for him. He can charge $400 and that's reasonable. If he thinks it's reasonable, it's reasonable. For me, it wasn't. But that Pinot I jumped on and I got those. The X factor, which is the first time it's happened for me, because I basically have always done, and also because I every year buy the max order, and if something is like going to be too expensive for me, I have friends here who are happy to buy it, so I just do the max order. But his prices have gotten high, and the couple guys that I know that I can do that with have told me like, yeah, we're going to sit this one out. So, at some point he gets that to that point where you're going to lose some people, but still wasn't this year because you sold out, like you said, in 21 minutes. But the X factor that changed for me this year was the when you buy the max order, you get free shipping. I didn't get that this year, and that adds a lot. It was $91, I think. It was $91 of shipping, and for 7 bottles, should have gotten it a plane ticket. I should just buy it a plane ticket. Which is, that adds a lot, but it's still worth it, and it still doesn't justify buying a $260 bottle of wine for me. So, or five of them, which is what I
Right.
would have needed because I only bought 7 bottles, but still worth it for me. I mean, the cost per bottle to me, I think was like four. It was probably like about 65 to $70 for the five shards and the two pinots. Okay.
There's
To
nothing
me,
like
that's easily like not affordable, easily money well spent for his wines. I just can't go to the higher stratosphere.
one of the things that I didn't see that this year now that he's had in the past, which he kind of said in his description on the website that he didn't have the auction today. He usually has the auction as well.
He doesn't do it the same day. He does it
Right.
the
So
following week.
right. So he does it the following week, and he
He's
told
still
me
doing that this year.
I'm curious to see what he's going to do because he told me last year one person bought everything in the auction. And he was
Oh,
upset
well,
about it. I
how
mean,
how would
he
he
was
change
kind
that?
of like he put up when we were talking. I don't even know why I shouldn't. Maybe he won't be happy that I'm saying this, but he kind of like
Okay.
put up his hands. He look, I'm happy somebody's enjoying my wine, and I'm happy that they want it at that price. But he really has this very strong feeling that
Right.
he wants a lot of people to have his wine, not just one
Yeah.
person.
Well, in the case of I just pulled it up. He's doing it January 18th. He's doing it next Sunday, and he leaves it open for a week. And I'll read the bottles in a second, but I know he thinks that, and that's his character. But for something like this, number one, it's impossible almost unless he literally, if he would limit something like that, he's only costing himself money. I
Right.
mean, someone wants to outbid someone else. I'm like, that's what it's going to be. And he's only selling 18 bottles of wine plus four magnums of each. So 30 bottles of wine total, including 12 magnums. And they are the 2015 Merlot, the 2015 Merlot La Rochelle, and the 2015 Frère Robert, which famously is named for his brother Robert.
Right.
And that's it. I mean, so that's it. I didn't know that last year. I think I remember that someone bought all of them themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone was like trying to figure out who that was, and no one came forward. Mystery buyer.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I show up at your house and there's hordes of library wines of Four Gates. And
And then you'll find out.
right, I discover it was
It
you all
wasn't
along.
me.
I
It
don't
wasn't
know. I
it
don't know.
wasn't me. There's no way I can
The
afford
rabbi
those
circuit pays well. The rabbi
yeah,
circuit pays
sure.
well.
Sure, that definitely. But it's interesting. I remember during W set there was a lot of conversation about the business of wine.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of focus on it, more than I thought. Like I thought initially, especially in one and two, like I was going to get into like tasting and various other elements, terroir, and there was all this conversation in the business of wine because it's such an important factor to the world of wine. And I think about this, I remember the conversations about like what does it cost to grow and how risky was the vintage, which I never thought about until that moment. How many bottles were made, how many hands touched it before it got to the consumer. And this is an interesting test case for the kosher world. I wonder if we're going to start seeing anything else like that happen. Like if people can, people always say, how do you create a viral video? There's no way to create a viral video. How do you create a situation where people are waiting and there's and on the various WhatsApp groups, people are like, okay, we're ready, engines rolling. Like there's a
Yeah.
conversation around it.
I mean, you can't organically create what he created. Sorry, the opposite. You can't manufacture what he organically created.
Exactly.
It's impossible. I mean, like that, that happens only in the way he did it. And if it happened because it was worth it and it was so good and so special, you can't manufacture that. And I
But
mean,
if
everyone
it
tries to
was
manufacture that.
if it was always available, let's say, I guess there's no way because there's not enough of it. But
Right,
let's say it was just like Mayacamas, you can just go to the website right now and buy it.
right.
Would it have that same allure?
Well, no, and that's like a topic that we need to get to eventually is the wine clubs, and I think that's to me that's one of the I think a draw of some of the wine clubs are the actual exclusivity, not that you're able to get it first and other people can get it a month later. To me, that's who cares. But the wines like Hagafen Pre is not, I think 99.9% not available anywhere but directly from him and directly through their wine club,
Right.
as opposed to others. Like, you can get, I think this year he may have changed it, but Covenant, it actually used to bother me with the Covenant Landsman, like, because I like that that was the case also, that it was a wine club wine exclusive to that. You're paying the big bucks to get that exclusivity. But then it came around to the Thanksgiving sale, and it was like on the website. I'm like, well, how's that? Why am I in that club then?
Right.
But I think this year you had to be in. This is why I don't do that episode yet, because I really need to sit down and do the research before I just come up here and babble. But that factor of it, I think, is a big reason that allure, that the word you used, of the wine, is that it's so rare and it is so hard to get. And like, one of my friends today, he's like, I couldn't, my hands couldn't move fast enough because you got to be so fast to really actually get, especially the Chardonnay and the Pinot. They probably sold it. They sold out in like 2 minutes, literally
And
2 minutes. They were
it
gone.
was less than 2 minutes,
Yeah.
actually.
So you had to do it right away. You had to be ready to roll. Like my credit card is saved on my computer, which is why if you're like looking at a credit card with your glasses, like
That was it.
you
You
got
lost it. Yeah.
that. So so yeah, I mean, that part of it is that. I mean, if you can go to kosherwine.com and buy his wines, then no one cares as much. I mean, they're still special and whatever, but not like this. I mean, this is which is why we're saying Four Gates Day. Like, good Yontif, it's Four Gates Day. You know, it's that's why. I mean, because it's so exclusive but it's impossible to replicate.
He's a special guy and he deserves this. He's
And
really,
it's him also.
yeah.
It's him also.
He is just, there is something so absolutely otherworldly and beautiful about this person. And if
Yep.
you've never had an opportunity to spend time with him, I'm so grateful that this year I've spent like really significant time with him. And he's just, I can't say enough about him. Just
Yep.
his breadth and depth of knowledge. He's an encyclopedia of not just wine knowledge, of so many different. Our conversations, like, are absolutely amazing. I want to just push into one question that I was thinking about as I was buying the wine today.
Mhm.
What do you think actually makes a wine worth it? Like when you pick a bottle, what are you really paying for?
Well, I think, my answer is probably different than the more casual wine drinker because I know the wines and I know a lot of the track records and I know the histories and I know about we're well educated wine drinkers. It's different and it's than someone who is just more of a casual wine drinker who walks into a wine store who's either relying on, more some maybe they're relying on the label, maybe they're relying on what the shop owner tells them.
Well, that's why I'm asking you the question. I want
Right.
to know, like,
So, it's
what
some
do
of the
you
things
look at?
some of the things I just mentioned. I mean, there's not really going to be a kosher wine on a shelf that I'm not going to know something about. I'm going to know something about the history of the wine, the actual history of the wine, the winery itself, the winemaker, the grapes, whether the region. I try to drink new wines all the time. To me, that's what I'm always looking for. I have my old reliables, and that's like if I buy something and I'm like, there's going to be, and this is something we can talk about at some point, but if I buy a wine and I'm like, this is really going to age well and probably develop and become more interesting, those I try to buy like one bottle at a time. I don't buy cases ahead of time. I can't do that. Um, but those are the ones that I'll double down on, meaning I'll buy a case of something I find is going to be a beautiful wine. And like there's been some recent, for instance, it's just the first thing in my head, um, Herzog Alexander Valleys, right? Like there were vintages where I'm like, this is a really wonderful wine at a great price, and I'll buy a case or two cases of it, and I'll drink them over the next 10, 15, 20 years. But it takes some level of knowledge, but that the level of knowledge that we have, and it's also like I'm not patting myself on the back, but this is why I try to, write about these things so that people have some knowledge, anyone that's interested in it can find this information and that they have some knowledge when they go into a store and they're not just buying blindly. But the mistake people make, I think, is just thinking that price dictates quality. It doesn't. I mean, there's obviously some general idea that like, a more expensive bottle is going to be a better quality bottle. Well, of course, but it's certainly not true all the time. And
Right.
the opposite. But I don't know if that answers what you were asking, but what do you
It
think?
does. It does answer what I'm asking, and I think that a lot of people will walk into a wine store, and often the people that are there don't exactly know what's there, and it is a lot about label and it is a lot about packaging. I see some of these wines that have become like the name brands, and what are they? They're 5 pound bottles.
Right.
They're well packaged. People know that you paid money for them, so it becomes kind of a showy piece. And is it the best wine for the money? I would debate that.
Right. Sure. Some of those wines are very good and still are not what I want to drink.
Right.
And especially when you consider or factor in the price.
The
But
best the best bottle of wine is the wine you like, period. If you like
always,
the wine, that is the best
always,
bottle. Can
always
you think of offhand, and can you think of a wine that is punched above its weight? That is a decent bottle that you've had recently that was like, wow, that was a good price. That was a good deal.
give me a second on that. What about you? I'm
I know
actually
I'm,
going
I'm
to think
thinking
about
about it.
one.
I'm just talking out loud.
Yeah. I mean, there's always the classic examples of that, like, LV, the what they call semi-creons as a classic example of that. It's
Keep
under
the wine.
$10 in the old days, and
Yeah.
which is always great. I mean, for me, like a bottle that like pops into my head is Recanati Special Reserve. I think those are just great quality at a very affordable. They're in the low 30s, mid 30s, and just great quality, consistent year after year. Meaning, like part of it is that I'm not looking specifically for the 2018 vintage. I know that I can buy the new vintage, and it's almost for sure going to be great quality because they don't miss on those bottles. It's a great winemaker from a very well established winery, and you know that you can trust that to some degree, and that's part of like when you're walking in blindly to a
Right.
wine store. And obviously you and I walk into it blindly a lot of times also. You haven't tasted every single one
Absolutely.
or even read about every one. um
I think about a lot of people say that about Yarden, where
yeah, sure,
the Yarden cab, you can always depend on it.
sure. That's a good example for a lot of people. I would say the Yarden, Blanc de Blanc. That is for me year after year it's equal to a lot of the great kosher champagnes that are double its price, triple its price. It's of course made in the same exact method. It can't be called champagne because it's not from Champagne, it's from Israel. So
Right.
it's sparkling wine, but it's the exact same type of wine. And another example of that is, as I've talked about a million times, is Bina's from Pennsylvania. Bina's Blanc de Blanc is fantastic for its price.
Right.
Um, that's another. I mean, there's lots of them, and I do try to highlight those when I write because those are the ones that you. It's very easy to say like, oh, this $90 bottle is amazing. Okay, great. I mean, it should be. They're not always, of course, but it should be. But when you find a $20 bottle that really punches above its weight, um, I think another one is the Villebois, like almost across the board. I love those wines, the Sancerre and
So
the
that's exactly what comes to mind.
yeah,
Even like the Puy Fumé,
yeah,
like all of them.
yeah.
They even did a Sancerre Rosé that was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think, and one I'm thinking of for years, because it was like an old favorite of mine, was the Capsane Peyrache Petita. And I know like people have not like liked it recently and whatever, but honestly, in the last year or maybe it's probably over a year old already, but the Peyrache Petita Blanca they came out with, I thought was fantastic for its price. But I think that was a really good quality red wine that's very affordable for everyone,
I
not
think
just
that in general, Spanish wine, Yayin Sefarad, as I always like to say, Spanish wine punches above its weight across the board. There are
I think that's the case for a lot of Italian wines too. I mean, I think it's what I find there's obviously nowadays and because of like Dr. Ralph and others, there's a lot of high-end Italian wines and they're
Yeah.
amazing. Um, but I think the difference is with some of these wines, like you're saying with Spanish wines, I feel more that way about Italian wines, is that you can buy almost any like $10 bottle of Italian wine, and it's going to be like drinkable at least. It's going to be
Yeah.
solid, you
It's
know?
it's true. I was thinking of a Daci Barbara. I love that wine. And it's like 20 bucks.
There's just, I don't know I think it's just because they're a lot more controlled for the most part that I think that, I mean, that I think that they're much more drinkable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always on the lookout for those, there's these wines
Sure.
that are really affordable and just really enjoyable. There aren't a ton of them, but that's what makes them special, of course.
Who made that Ora di Valerie Barolo?
Um, that's a river wine.
Oh yeah?
The winery, I don't remember offhand, find it, but yeah, that's me. That's produced by the river.
I was impressed with that.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean,
Um,
it's a higher end wine, but it really was something that was really memorable for me. I had it recently.
Absolutely. I'm actually I just finished writing a piece for it's a great I love that they do this and I really hope that it continues for a long time is the Jewish Link's annual wine guide and I'm not just saying that because I write for it every year. I would happily read it if I didn't write for it. Um, I think it's great and those kind of things are great and I unfortunately really wish that also that and it brings up another topic, but the one year Jewish Link did their the wine tasting. I
I
thought it was
loved
great.
that wine
Yeah,
tasting. That was a great night.
but I wish they would be able to bring it back. But I guess in its stead, there's a group of guys got together, and I think this is the third one is coming up in February, and they were smarter about the date this year. I think they just call it KWD. Like I don't know if it has a
Mhm.
name otherwise. KWD Wine Night, maybe I think they
Yeah,
call it. Which I'm 99% sure, and I'll look it up as you're talking after me.
I already have my ticket. I'm excited.
I unfortunately can't make it. I'm doing a wine event in Silver Spring, Maryland that night,
I will be there,
and I
God
cannot
willing.
make it to. God knows I love Brooklyn, but I can't make it. Um, but the next night, of course, is KFWE in New Jersey, which Mirza Hashem I plan to be at, and I will have to walk around together a little bit.
Absolutely.
And maybe even record something. I'm just looking at KW thing, but what's great about that is like that I guess is the heir to some degree of the Jewish link thing in that and nothing against KFWE in that it's only royal. That's their thing. That's why it's only royal. But it's nice to have these other ones that are also give exposure to the other
To the little
important
guys,
contributors.
to all the
Okay, say
little
it
guys,
again.
to the little guys. Do you get invited to the Jewish Links tasting when they're doing those reviews?
Yeah, I do get invited, but for me, it's the logistics of it are difficult. They do it in Teaneck, and they're all my friends nowadays. They're a great group of people. A couple of them were in WSET with me, Liz and Greg and blanking on people, and one of the other judges is Yossi, who's an old friend of mine. Whatever, they're great, and I wish I could do it because how fun is that?
That
But
is
it's
so, that
what am
looks
I?
like such a fun time. They're all blind, right? It's blind
Yeah,
taste.
yeah, they do it. They do it totally blind, which is the absolute right way to do it. Because it's one thing to like walk around KFWE and like write notes like this tastes like that. But when you, of course, it's impossible to be non-biased when you're looking at a label. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
Or if
I
you
have
have
a
like Moises
tremendous,
Cohen, like if I'm looking at Moises Cohen, I'm like, I love you, I love your wine. I can't not like his wine when I'm looking at him. What am I supposed to do? Just
exactly.
natural. But blind is the way to do it. And I get it happens to be Greg Raker, who's one of the judges. And by the way, he's doing, I don't know if he wants me saying this publicly, but I'm going to do it anyway. He's doing the diploma in WSET. He's a very humble person. He really knows about as much about wine as anyone. And he's told me I could just like crash in his house. Like he and his wife both know a lot about wine. So I like consider it, but I think my wife may not see me for 4 days because I think they all spit. I'm not spitting anything. I'd be
Yeah. Is
joking.
there a way to do a diploma without on kosher wine? Because I'm not going to spit
Yeah, I
non-kosher
mean,
wine.
you could spit, I guess. I mean,
No,
I
I could.
yeah, no, but no, there's no. I mean, there's no. If you don't spit it, there's no way to. There are. I mean, the essential problem, the intrinsic problem, I should say, is that there are wines they wouldn't even be able to do one, which is why because I would have pushed. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't have. I can't sit through anymore. I can't study. I'm too old. And that's a heavy, heavy duty thing. I mean, that's 2 years basically, minimum probably, and a very hard exam. Um, three was hard enough for me, but
Three was one of the hardest exams I've ever
very
taken.
hard.
Yeah.
But the problem is that kosher there are plenty of regions that aren't even there's nothing. I mean, how do you give an example of kosher wine? You know, they even struggle with that with part three. It's like you may have one example that's really not even good. I mean, it's there's all kinds of there's major regions that don't have one kosher example. So how do you study that? You know, you can't.
Right.
So someday, I'm sure.
I would
Um,
I would
but
love it.
it's such a great thing like that there's so much bad about the internet and everything else. It's terrible, honestly. It's ruining the world, but people are becoming more educated about kosher wine, which is great. And I give Royal a lot of credit for fostering that WSET 3. I mean, because it really happened because of them. I mean, they had enough people to do it with they sent a lot of their employees to do I took that class with them with through kosherwine.com. But it was really to some degree at their behest because they wanted to train more and more of their staff. And like that's such a great thing. I mean, that's shows that they care that much about it. Um,
Yeah.
but the original thing I was going to say is that one of the topic I wrote about for this upcoming annual wine guide was about new wines being brought into America and like from all the various importers, not just one of them or two of them, but really from most of them. And it's exciting. There's lots of new stuff coming in,
Anything
and
interesting that you want to note?
I think you're going to have to wait to get the annual wine guide
Okay.
on your shelves. And I think they come out on Pesach. Um, Um, well, I'll tell you what I'm excited about. I'm excited about all the ones I wrote about. That's why I chose them. But off the top of my head, I there's a new Barolo coming. There's a new Barolo, and there's two new Barolos coming, and more even. I think there may be three or four new Barolos because I think Ralph was doing one also. But
Kosher Brunello.
Barolo.
I know, but is there a kosher
Oh yeah,
Brunello?
there's right now on the market. Is there a kosher Barolo? There's definitely one coming. but also just the Langhe Nebbiolo. There's lots more Italian wines, and that's what I'm most excited about because I love them. I'm in that, listen, um, it changes because that's kind of what's cool about wine is it's not one specific style or whatever. And the whole I think there's the fad shift and whatever. And I think that's why we see more like orange wine at times. Things go up and down and more pet nat, which I love all the interesting anything with bubbles I'm going to drink anyway. And I wish it was more pet nat, and especially Israeli pet nat. But and there are a bunch, but there's a lot more Italian wines coming now, and that's to me so exciting because I thought that was always so underrepresented in kosher.
There are so many funky Italian wines that I've seen on the market now. There's this new like ice primitivo. I don't think anyone realizes what it is.
Well,
And
what is it? There is the Tassi. That's a rough one. That's 2017. That's available on the market. There are some Brunellos. Yeah. What is this ice? Tell me about it. I saw that.
it,
I
it's
don't think I
it's this light
saw
blue bottle. People think that it's like a sweet wine. It's actually a
it.
dry wine that is meant to be served cold. And there's a
Right.
shtick on the front of the bottle.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of shticks, but
Yeah, I mean that's obviously like a marketing thing to some
yeah,
degree.
but basically when you put it when it gets the right temperature in the fridge, the label turns from red to blue.
Oh, right.
It's a little shtick. I'm not, but it's cute. If you're at an event, it becomes, or a dinner, like it becomes a conversation piece, which I always like to see that the wine can be a conversation piece.
Yeah, well, it's so that's when like nice labels sometimes, you know, this one, it's funny you say that because I do have a couple sitting here because I was about to write about this one. And this is do you recognize this label?
I just had it to 2018.
Okay, for those who are listening,
The
this is
Marquisat. Yeah.
which is the same winemaker and winery as Roses de Camille, and this is the La Folie de Lis, and this is 2018. You said you just had it?
I just had it. Yeah.
We should compare
And it
notes.
wasn't expensive. I was shocked.
Yeah,
That's why I picked it up.
how much is it? I don't remember.
I think I paid like US probably about $40 for it.
Okay, that makes sense. Did you enjoy it?
Did I enjoy it? It was light,
It is light.
effervescent.
It is light. It's very light. It's Merlot. I don't know if it's I'm trying to find how much it is.
What did you
Anyway,
think of it?
but it's one thing I always find with his wines is the winemaker for this winery is Christophe Bordeaux, and great winemaker, great winery, and lots of real superstar wines in his portfolio. Um, I always taste a little bit of Brett in his wines, and I did again with his real light. I really liked it.
Well,
I
what's
when
the
I
problem with
first
bread? Well, I think bread is fine, and if
a lot of people don't. A lot of people are very turned off by Brett.
uh,
I'm not. I mean, I like it. And, my wife doesn't care for the Brett profile because it's overwhelming. I think sometimes to
for
her
people
it
who don't
is.
know what bread is, how would you describe bread?
Uh, um, I think barnyard is what I always say, but of
Right.
course, a lot of people think barnyard with when a wine is corked. It's not the same as corked. Corked you find more like I feel like wet cardboard stuff.
Yes, exactly. Where
Um,
like I think they call it barnyard funk, right? Where there's like
Barnyard Funk is what I would call
it's like a
bread, which I love. I mean,
funky, yeah.
you also find Barnyard Funk with like as a tertiary note in old wines. I mean, that's not always bread, but this. In any case, the whole reason I was bringing it up is because I got a lot of comments on the label. It's a beautiful label of a peacock,
Yeah,
as you
it is.
say,
Yeah,
and it's just a cool label. I don't know. I just thought it was a pretty label, but and it also reminded me because that. They just had that Rabbi Slifkin interesting biblical animal meal in Yerushalayim, which my good friend Eitan G went to, and they they ate peacock. I didn't even
wow.
know peacock was a kosher bird. Like it's
Wow.
complicated. I know it's all like borderline controversial. I'm not going to get into that stuff, but yeah, it's interesting. It's on my
So
website.
what do you think of the Marquisat?
I
The
liked
very
it. I thought
yeah.
it was very nice. I liked how light it was. I liked how light it was. It's a type of wine that I think, I'll tell you that, first of all, the easiest way to answer that is that everyone at my table liked it. No one didn't like it. Even my wife liked it, which shows it wasn't that much bread. And maybe that's just me thinking there's bread, but I don't know. We're just looking at the ABV is 13.5. I actually would have guessed lower. I would have guessed like
Yeah, it seemed
12.5.
really light.
It's really light, and the fruit's light, and I would say it's, now's the time to drink it. I wouldn't sit on this bottle for more than another year. It's not going to get better. It's not made in that style. It's a drink now style wine. It's the acidity was great. I thought the fruit was light, but refreshing, and it's not. I don't have. I actually asked. I sent a message over to this. It's available at Liquid Kosher. They're the exclusive importer for his wines, and I sent a message over to them to get the tech sheet on it. But I would guess that. I mean, I probably should have looked at the label, but I don't think it's on there. I would guess that there's no oak on it.
It did
Because it's
not
just
taste.
not it's
Yeah,
not made in it's made in a fresher style. And I don't know how long this wine's been out, probably a couple years, but it's now's the time to drink it. I liked it very much.
I was surprised to see a 2018 on the shelf, and that's what caught my eye. And yeah, I agree with you. It was just easy to drink, and I found
Okay.
actually it wasn't super acidic. It was a very low acidity.
By the way, someone messaged me and I wanted to bring this up. The Merlot, the Four Gates Merlot, Guidon, and Cab are back up. So
No way.
he obviously has more of it available. I was like, is this guy listening to is he have a way to know we're doing the podcast right now? Someone just like texted me. He's like, but
Really? Well,
they're
while we're
back up.
talking?
So while I'm looking at it right now, they're on the website.
Oh my gosh.
So which means either someone canceled or Benio forgot he had more barrels on. I don't know, but they're back up.
Shoot.
Interesting.
I'll
Um,
tell you why I bought that Guidon. It's very personal for me at this point.
yeah, let's hear.
I was in the barrel room with Binyamin last year, and that Cab Franc was in the barrel, and it was just
Yeah,
I could have smelled it all day. And he
yeah.
said, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a blend out of it." And he took some Merlot out of the barrel and he poured it in to my glass as I'm
Okay.
drinking, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is good." It was just so good. Maybe it was just the whole experience of being there and the barrel,
Sure.
but it was so aromatic and so
Yeah.
alive. And I said, that is just a fantastic blend.
Right.
And so I feel a personal connection with that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's hard to argue with. Um, this is real fast. A recent really great wine I had, and I want to give another very good friend of ours a shout out, is John Haydu's um, proprietary red reserve. And there are two of them, which I think a lot of people don't know. This has an elephant on the front, and it's the 2022 proprietary red reserve, which is I think 100% Napa Cab, and it
It's a
was
I,
really great.
confession. I also tasted that one from the barrel.
So this is just about one upping me, isn't it?
I can't always one up you. This is just my rare moment. Give me a moment to shine.
Yeah, fine, you got it. Yeah, and it was amazing,
It
probably.
was amazing. It
Yeah.
was amazing.
It's I think that's a special wine. It's way young right now. I mean, it's a 22, and that's like that is a wine I would not open probably for another, I don't know, maybe open at the end of the decade or something for the first time. But it's great wine. He just
And he
yeah,
finally has a new sticker.
yeah.
She made a new his wife made a new picture for that one, which
Yeah,
I'm
because this
waiting
is
for.
I think that's the first vintage he's done of a reserve cab like that high end like and had two prop reds. I think it was I think.
It is a fantastic bottle of wine.
Yeah, really good. Um,
If you like the Napa Cab, it's very, classic,
big
bold,
wine.
big
Big wine.
wine, big fruit,
Big wine.
vanilla.
Yeah, that could have decanted for 3 days, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
it was special. I had a very close friend over and we were just you only live once. Gotta bring out some and I just wanted to. part of it is just I wanted to write about it and I wanted to taste it to give other people advice on it. But I think I may have another one, but I'm not sure. And if I hope I do. If not, I may have to get another one from him. But someone's got to do the dirty work of tasting the young wines, right? But
Hard
if you're
job.
listening to this, don't open it yet. Do not open it yet. He's I John's great, and he's really like I. There was a stage I think in like around 2017 or something. I was like getting away from maybe it was just me getting away from that style of wine, but I think his red wines recently have been really great. They've been really great. There's new Shiraz wines out now. I haven't even opened my box yet, honestly, but oh, and another interesting California wine that is about to be released because I just got the email is a Hagafen. I think probably for the first time also is not producing, they're releasing their Sauvignon Gris,
Oh, wow.
which I don't know if they've ever put one out. That is not such a common grape in California. It's obviously related to Sauvignon Blanc. It's less grassy and citrusy. It's more of a minerally style, but I'm excited to taste that, especially with how Hagafen will handle it. And the fact that I'm sure it's oaked and whatever, so it's probably gonna be a beautiful, like elegant style wine. So I'm really excited about that. I got a bunch of those.
What did you think of Jonathan's the Haydu heirloom, this new
Oh, I love that. Did
bushel,
we talk about
his
that
personal
on
bushel wine?
Yeah, we talked
Okay,
about
we talked about it.
pretty
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, and I wrote about that. I love that. I especially for two I was blown away for two reasons. I don't know, blown away is the right term, but it was remarkable to me for two reasons. Number one was the Mobushel one, that it was Mobushel, and I wouldn't in a million years known that. And he really just hit on that. And number two was the price on that. And I drank that bottle with someone who doesn't drink kosher wine, and they were blown away by the price, and that's doubly interesting considering I'm like, what do you think this bottle costs? And he said 50 to 60 bucks, and he wasn't guessing kosher prices; he was guessing non-kosher prices. So when you add the kosher number onto it, it's like converting dollars to shekels or something like that. Meaning it's like, okay, if he says 50 to 60, then he really means 80 to 90. So the fact that that bottle is, what is it, 30 bucks, right? Or something like 30 something.
You know what I'm thinking?
What's that?
You should talk to your mechutin.
About?
That's a good bottle for your wedding, for your
Oh,
daughter's wedding.
I think my Mechutin's trusting me on the wine. It may be the only thing he's going to trust me on, but he'll trust me on. I know. I've thought about that. I got to talk to John about that. I got to get him to come and pour, not pour,
Yeah.
but I thought about that actually. That was one of the first ones that popped into my head. I've yet to see that at a wedding. It would be pretty cool.
I think it's a great bottle for a wedding.
It is, and it's a great bottle. I love it. I drank a lot of it. I bought a bunch of it. But yeah, I know it's there's listen. I mean, there's just great wines, and the boys at Shira are still doing great work. They almost are underappreciated nowadays because I think there's always that, people hit the cool factor right away, and then people want to move on to the next cool thing. But to me, they're still cool. They are the coolest guys in the biz, and they're like they're the best guys, and they make wine. They're good. What's mentees to Benyo, and that they're holy Jews, man. They're making wine for the right purposes, and the shame mitzvah and whatever. Probably the shame some other things, but the shame mitzvah primarily. And their wines are amazing. I love their wines. I don't think I it's crazy to say, but I don't think they get enough love.
I agree with you. I just had their 22 Zinfandel. I think they call it
Out of the barrel, probably, right?
the Charbonneau, I think they call it.
I thought you were gonna say, yeah, I had that out of the barrel.
Oh, no, no, I didn't have it out of the barrel. And I
Yeah,
like one of my favorite grapes, especially from California, is a Zinfandel, and
yeah.
it's hard to make well. And I thought it was just fantastic.
They make aside from Benio's Zinfandel, which is I don't even really Zinfandel is not my style at all. Like it's one of my least favorite. It's just too in your face, too big.
It is
But
big. It's
but
very big.
Benyosin, that's one of the best wines I've ever had, and I guess that's what it's supposed to taste like when it's grade Zin. Because I never really got Zin. I'm like, I taste these Zins. I'm like, it's so I can't even drink it. I can't put that down.
Yeah.
But I agree in that the Shiraz Zinfandel, you have to wait like 5 years on them, and then they just hit a great spot. You're
Yeah.
right.
When they get like a little bit more, like the acidity gets a little lowered, and it because it's very it's a complex grape.
Just needs to
And so
calm
they did.
down. It's
So
too big, right?
they were
Kid.
interested. It was interesting because I'm pretty sure I'm just thinking off my memory that it was a Charbonneau Zinfandel, and I thought that was a
Yeah,
really interesting balance of a wine. I can look it up actually. I don't have
I'm
to.
looking at it. It's Charbonneau, like Joe Charbonneau, the baseball player. You're
Yeah,
not gonna know what I'm talking about.
no,
He was rookie of the year, and then he never. It was not Charbonneau. It was called something else, I think. That grape, but I don't remember. You can find it. Um, Charbonneau, was that what it was? I don't remember. They find these grapes that no one's ever heard of, right?
yeah, it was. Uh,
Maybe it was. I don't know. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yes.
it had a green label.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly which one you're talking about. And you love that one?
I just it was bold. It was in your face. It's still 20. It's a
It was
22. It's still young.
Carbonneau, maybe? Was that what it was?
What is it called?
No, not Carbonneau. I'm not seeing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't remember. Um, I don't see it.
It tasted a lot like their old coalitions, which I really liked. A lot of the old coalitions. It had that similar feel to it, like very complex and layered and just kept on finding new flavors as it went along.
They just put out they put out a Petit Verdot 23, um, a one called Graciano, which is a
Mm.
grape that no one's ever heard of probably from Saint-Denis, and a new Brodu, which is their perennial hit,
Yes.
right? I haven't tasted any of them yet. I'm excited about that Petit Verdot. I mean, they're wines. I'm always excited to taste their wines. I love that they are always kind of doing something different. It's like that's a cool thing that they do. They do bring back their favorites. They'll do the Bordeaux, which is that Bordeaux style.
Or the 1-2 punch, which is
Yeah,
the
once you
lighter.
punch the
Yeah.
now they have the Bro Max as part of their. Um, but they find small lots of these interesting grapes and they're always kind of trying something new, which is great.
Don't you just want to move to California and just hang out and try to find lots of grapes and make wine? Don't you have that itch sometimes?
Of course I do. But I would just hang out in Benio's house. I don't think I'd go in here. So because that's.
Help him. I've always wanted to do harvest with him. Because just to watch him in the field, and then I can't imagine doing harvest. I know it's intense and it's a lot of work, but I've never done a harvest.
Right.
This idea, like when they were asking for volunteers to go to Israel last year to help with the harvest, I had a thought, but it was just right in the middle of Sukkot.
I offered to go and drink wine, but there were no takers. Um, all right. Well, listen, I always say this is like we don't do this stuff, and it's my fault. I know more than your fault. Maybe it's a little your fault. I don't know, but
Both of our faults.
we need to do it more. The people are in need.
Yes,
But it's great to see you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person.
absolutely. I can't wait to.
But I guess we'll see each other at KFWE, right?
God willing, that's the goal.
Okay.
And to do the tables, right? We got to go around and it's really for me those wine events are the best opportunities to just taste all the new vintages, what's out there, and to see.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's just I like schmoozing. I see people.
Right.
I drink wine, but I can't possibly do that. I can't taste wine at those things. I can't. It's all overwhelming to me from a tasting perspective. I try to taste the wines, but I drink wine. I don't. I'm not spitting unless I really don't like it. I shouldn't say that because then if someone sees me do it, they're gonna know I don't like it. Um, if you're listening to this, come take celebrity pictures with me and the rabbi.
Oh, exactly. We
Right?
need to get some spotting, some celebrity sightings.
Right. Anyway,
Maybe we'll go around with
Brittany.
the recorder and see if we can get some.
Yeah, we have to do that. You're the tech guy here. I don't know how to do these things.
Okay,
Let's take up the mic
I'll
and
bring a
do it.
recorder with me. We'll do it.
Yeah, mic me up.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll wear my good toupee for the occasion.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Let's do that. Okay, let's plan it out. I can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
The wine tasting world
Easy. Oh,
is starting soon.
yep. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of events coming up. I think that's all right. It's the doldrums of winter. We got to just drink our way through it.
Yeah, I'm bringing Ellie Gautier is coming to Montreal February 1st.
Wasn't he just there?
No, he's never been.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he's awesome. Love
Yeah,
that.
so my first time doing an event with him. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, he's great.
And I'm going to be doing a wine tasting. I'm going to do a few wine tastings. I'm doing next week. I'm doing a wine tasting in Scottsdale, Arizona, and
Oh,
in
where's
Gilbert, Arizona,
wait, we're in Scottsdale.
at the Chabad of Scottsdale.
Oh, how about Scottsdale? Yeah, got
Yeah.
some good friends out there. I've been to Scottsdale many times.
So we're doing a tasting there. We're doing a tasting in Gilbert, Arizona, and in Denver, Colorado. I'm doing a tasting.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And you? Anything coming
Me,
up?
I do. Yeah, I have. Well, the one I mentioned, I actually I had a few over Hanukkah, which were great. All at Chabad places. One at the Russian Chabad here. That was great. I got up for an hour straight because I opened the floor to questions, and there's one question after another, and it was great. And then I went to the next event I did at Chabad. I didn't even go up because they were doing their thing and people were just schmoozing with me on the side. So it was like very different, both great. But I have coming up, I have that Silver Spring one, which is a fundraiser for Mikvah of Silver Spring. I'm doing an event for High Lifeline in a local High Lifeline, and that looks like a cool event.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I like these things are not working for me, as you know. I mean, they're great. I love it. To me, and I shouldn't say this out loud, but I would probably do it totally for free because it's like I feel like I'm going to the event for free, is what I'm saying. It's like the event's great, and like I love doing wine and talking wine, so it's like for me, it's I love it.
I'm always amazed that people want to listen.
Yeah, it's a fair point. But yeah, there's a bunch of I have a bunch of events coming up, and Baruch Hashem, great. All
Okay,
right,
see you soon.
see you soon.